There are certain areas of your life that branch off to affect every other aspect of your life. And decision making, that's one of these big pillars. So today I'm going to show you and speak on how you can become a better decision maker, and this will lead you to becoming free and wealthy. See, a good place to start is to identify what is the cost to benefit ratio of whatever you're doing. And in decision making, the benefit ratio is through the roof because it reduces your stress. And I don't have to explain this. You know what happens, but I don't think people see the depth of what stress is. People can sometimes see it as only when that big project or big life-changing situation is on the rise. But the big killer is actually the micro stresses that go unnoticed in the individual's everyday life. If you cannot make good decisions quickly, then that means you're worrying, you're stressing, and it's actually unnecessary. So, what would it feel like for you to make your decisions, quality decisions, just almost instantly? Because that's the direction that I'm headed or looking to lead you. And it's helpful in becoming better at anything to know exactly what you're running from. In this case, it would be indecisiveness while you become a better decision maker. See, it's one thing to have a vision and a goal, to work at that. But when you combine the push-pull, the running from what you don't want to become while pursuing what you admire, this is how you turn a thought into reality. And it is this sort of understanding, the push-pull, the ebb and flow, the yin and the yang, that leads you to creating an actual enjoyable life, a life that is founded upon the concept of balance. See, sometimes decisions are going to require a good amount of time and investment to come to the right decision. And then other times, understanding is something profound or is it trivial? Is it very deep and complex or is it basic? Because once you understand this, then you can have a peace of mind while making decisions. For example, let's say you're pondering what state you're going to move or what country you're going to move to. This is not a decision, for the most part, that you're going to make instantly. It's going to require some research and maybe listing of the pros and cons, etc. More strategic ways of going about that process. But on the other hand, let's say it's what I'm going to eat for my meal today, or what clothes I'm going to wear, or where I'm going to go on a walk. These things, they should not be hard decisions. You need, and this is the process of getting clarity and becoming a better decision maker, which is going to lead you down the route to make those simple, basic, trivial decisions just about instantly. And therefore, you save yourself stress, you save yourself time, effort, energy, etc. And therefore, you invest that which you save more efficiently through becoming a smart, intelligent, precise decision maker. I know that not everyone has this drive to be a reliable human, but personally, it is fulfilling to know that, well, if things go bad, whatever bad may be, I'll know in the moment, just because the person that I have become, that my decisions will be executed to the T, and I'll have trust in my own intuitive process. Whether an animal's chasing me or it's some split second vehicle situation, it could be any sort of fight or flight moment. And if you have connected yourself to the insightful source of making great decisions in the moment, then inevitably you don't have to worry. You can just have this faith in your own ability And what do you know? Like, I speak on the importance of confidence often. Decision making and confidence go hand in hand. And so many of the things which I choose to speak about, they are interconnected foundational pillars to creating the free and wealthy life that every human deserves. Like internally, I some humans have been indoctrinated to think that they want to depend upon systems, or systems are healthy. What I meant by that is like governing authorities that tell them what to think and what to do. See, I'm not telling you like what is right or what is wrong, but what I know internally is that all humans do need a degree of freedom. And whether you've been indoctrinated or not, well, I can't really change that. But I guess my point here is you become confident and you become a smooth decision maker, then you don't have to rely on these authorities to tell you what to think and what to do. That's one to be unraveled. The differentiation between systems which show you how to think versus systems which tell you what to think. You see, there's a big difference between being insightful and being educated. And the latter, it leads you down a route of indoctrination, of groupthink, and therefore you lose your creative spark. And yeah, I'll rant on that another time. So self-respect and decision-making link tightly. And if you have that internal confidence, which is derived from respecting yourself, then your decision-making process becomes more seamless. And therefore, you're not wasting the time and energy pondering, but it's just like, you know what to do. And there's this phrase, competence breeds confidence. And how do you get competent at something? It's this mixture between learning, going the self-educational route, and doing, actually taking part in the act, which is going to allow you to learn about the skill. See, it's easier to learn and self-educate than it is to do and break through your comfort zone. But I'm not saying either is more important. I'm just touching on the truth, which one is a bit more difficult than the other due to the psyche craving comfort at certain ego development stages. Inevitably, you get to a place where you realize, wait, on the other side of fear is exactly what I need. But it takes some time to get to that place where you're continuously catching yourself. Oh, I'm fearful. Okay, that means I know exactly what to do. Once you get to that place, it's kind of the unraveling of the inner workings become more clear, and you begin to realize how paradoxical everyday life is. And it's not a good thing nor a bad thing. It's just how it is. And it also doesn't matter to me whether you are aligned with how it is. Like from a big picture context, it matters. But from a more zoomed in perspective, I know I have no interest in trying to control what I don't control. So therefore, what I do here, just simply share the insight for the people who are ready for the insight. See, you can bring the horse to the river, you cannot force the horse to drink the water. So like, differently said would be, you plant the seed, but depending on the soil which the seed has been planted, it either thrives or is strangled by weeds. So focus on what you can control, and one of those things is your decision-making process. See, you can't share what you don't have. In relation to making decisions, a lot of people have such big hearts that they sabotage their own ability to create or generate wealth or anything positive and healthy due to being such a giver. And they cannot share what they don't have. So they're giving themselves to this point where they're sincerely robbing themselves. It's a tough truth to swallow, but this is the balance between being selfish and being selfless. And a lot of it is funny. Like, as I make this video, I'm quote unquote serving others. But while I do something like this or write or, work with someone in a mentorship manner, it's so fulfilling for me. So at the same time, it's confusing. Like I'm being selfless and being selfish. So on that note, we want to go with the habits, the structures, the systems in life that have many healthy side effects. And on the other hand, we want to avoid the things which have many negative consequences. So if you want a practical task, which I would prefer that you do, but only you can save yourself. If you want, pause this video and make a list of your habits in general. First, start the list, just habits, write all your habits. Next, split them between healthy side effects and negative consequences and organize them. And therefore, you have just found some new clarity on what you need to do and what you might need to be deleting from your life. And essentially, activities like that are the key, the crutch to how you're going to become who you need to become. See, it's this balance, right, of consuming self-education, listening to the video, but then actually doing action. If you only listen to videos and take notes, but you don't actually do anything in your real life, I did this for a couple years and not regretting it, but oh my gosh, I had a kernel, a seed, an idea that I put off, which is this. It's this. I knew I wanted to share something for months and months, just had no idea what the vehicle, the avenue would be. And therefore, I kind of stalled myself and put it off. But you don't have to be that way. The sooner that you take action, the sooner that your wealth, freedom, and success will be brought to you. So that's a choice. I mean, if you don't want it, well, then just don't write that little assignment. The 90-10 rule has been powerful in my life, and it ties to decision making. It is decision making. It's understanding like, okay, if I'm eating just properly, smooth, and following my structure very often, then every once in a while, you choose this. I'm not going to tell you what days, how many hours, the details. You have to learn how to feel and to trust what you're doing. My point is, if you're rolling the healthy way 90% of the time, there's no need to be perfect. And then, on the other hand, if you're rolling unhealthy more than 10% of the time, you need to be honest with yourself and admit, wait, I'm slacking. I feel the way I do because I'm slacking. My actions lead me to feel how I feel. Admit that it's no one external. It's you choosing to feel how you do. And therefore, once you take that accountability, responsibility will correlate to meaning. And the more purpose you have in your life, the more fuel you're going to have to abstain from temptation to partake in the negative low frequency habits and actions. Therefore, you invest that energy in the 90, not the 10, and then you start the healthy feedback loop of great high frequency energy. Energy is your foundation to life. With high energy, your decision-making process becomes smoother, more effortless, and that feedback loop continues, and the power of compounding just goes for you. And then you just realize, wait, at first, this all felt more difficult. That being said, inevitably, the healthy lifestyle becomes so much easier and effortless in comparison to the self-sabotaging reversal of the 90-10 rule. So this is something that you create, this balance, this understanding of oneself. Only you can create it. And again, it's through the combination of the self-education and the daily action. You do that, you roll with that structure, self-education, action, educate, action. You become, I'm not going to say unstoppable, but your freedom, it's inevitable. I need to touch on the importance of recognizing your small wins, because let me tell you, this curve, the one that goes like that, This phase, it feels long, and it doesn't always feel that way, but especially in the beginning when you're failing, when you're making the most mistakes. See, I use the air quotes because you're not failing, you're not making mistakes. It is exactly what you need. So that's like the psychological reframe. And if I knew that years ago, I think my entire journey would have been a bit more peaceful. And hey, excuse me, it is what it is. We are exactly in the right place at the right time. But what was I ranting on? One second. Oh, noticing your small wins. See, just having this patience and having this 10,000 hour vision, it calls for some sort of recognition of progress. And initially, something that's been helpful for me, there's going to be a phase where you're not getting results, like any tangible physical results. And in that stage, what you want to know and remind yourself of consistently, maybe fucking write it on your wall or make a canvas, make it pretty. Don't just write shit on your wall. Do as you please. I'm not your boss. Point is, if you can, what did I want to say? Good Lord. Come on now. I'll figure this out. Yes, okay, I remember. 10 seconds later. You measure your progress based on the amount of effort you're putting in when you are in that stage of no tangible results. Because, well, the stage is inevitable, but you don't have to hate it. You do not have to make yourself feel like a loser because you're not getting results. See, I'm speaking from experience. I had hard days, hard hours. It was just in hard months. It was in misery, but it didn't have to be that way. And I mean, maybe I overreact. Maybe I overemphasize how I felt. But that's kind of how reality works. Like, you remember the stronger emotions. I'm sure I know I wasn't always miserable, but the context, the self-doubt, I just didn't know if what I was doing was right. And I was continuing because it felt right, but the tangible results were the opposite of right. And therefore, when I came across that phrase, measure your amount of growth through the amount of effort you put forth, then it kind of gives you a peace of mind. Like, okay. And then it also makes you be self-honest, because if you know internally that your effort, your output could be better, if you know there are things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing, paraphrasing Jordan Peterson, if you Jordan Peterson's been so helpful. I just have to say this. I cannot thank that man enough. Like, a father figure, a true father figure. And if you feel as if you need someone like that, I'd love for you to continue enjoying my content, but give Jordan Peterson a listen if you're not familiar. Like, the man is to be respected. And of course, everyone has little things. Like, I don't agree with everything he says, but on average, he says very insightful and helpful things. So same thing with me. I do not want you to agree with everything I say. I know there's going to be biases I have and preferences that may not align with you. I just ask for you to be open-minded with that. Like, there are many people whom I've learned so much from, who I dearly respect, and they say some things where I'm like, and then over time, maybe I've developed more to realize, oh, that was just my underdeveloped mind pushing my own biases on that person, projecting. So, I mean, that's a helpful thing in life. There are many mountaintops, many routes to each mountain. So we benefit greatly by just being open-minded and respecting others for, as long as they're going down like a healthy avenue and they're not harming other people, they're going down a high frequency route. No need for the content to be exactly the same, as our structure, our context is similar, but the specific content will be different. So that's okay. In improving your decision-making process, what has been super helpful is noticing my internal friction, because many decisions, they involve interactions with other egos. And when you react with other egos, your likelihood of you being triggered rises substantially. So let's say that you're triggered. The key to making your life better, not only with other egos, but with your own mind, is noticing the friction internally and shortening the distance between the friction arising and you knowing that the friction is there. So, like, what does that feel like? Because I described that well. I know that. Nice massaging my ego. But how can I put that even more simply? An example. So my mom says something to me I don't necessarily like. I disagree. Okay, before I go down a route of, look, I'm right, this is why I'm right, you need to do it this way, yeah. Before I go down that route, ideally, I have the observation ability to feel the friction, the shift in my mood, because you hear my voice, my tone of voice right now. Here's a nugget. 55% of communication is via tone of voice, 38% is via body language, 7% is words. So when I just did this, you hear I'm serious, right? Like I'm right, you're wrong, versus my normal tone of voice. So if you can feel the friction, and here's the thing, your observation ability, you can notice the tone of voice when you're not speaking. What do I mean there? You can notice the difference in the vibes of your thinking. Just ponder on that. You can notice the difference in the vibes of your thinking. So if you feel the friction in your thinking, then and only then you have this opportunity to make such personal development. I'm not going to say only then, but it's such an opportunity. It's a very powerful opportunity, because then you catch yourself. And the quicker that you catch yourself in that friction, okay, now what do you do once you catch yourself? How do you break that chain so that you don't go down this cycle? I'm right. This is why I'm right. Then they disagree. Then it's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. You don't want that. That's no fun. Like, arguing is not fun. And if you think arguing is fun, I deeply recommend that you take a seat in a room on your bed by yourself and see if you can sit with your own thoughts for a couple minutes. Because if you think arguing is fun, first of all, I know you wouldn't have made it this far in this video. People of that nature aren't going to be interested in anything that I'm talking about. So I actually don't need to go down that rant. But point is, you've identified there's friction. You feel the friction in your thinking or in your actual tone of voice outwardly expressed. Then, since you've noticed it, there are tactics, tools, systems to get back to the peaceful state of mind. And I'll just run off a few. You can go sit down and just focus on your thoughts or your breath rather than your thoughts for a couple minutes. Here's the thing. Meditation is not to have no thinking. Meditation is simply to increase your observation ability of your thinking. So do not be hard on yourself if you are thinking many thoughts while aiming to meditate. Listen, that's so much better than not trying to meditate at all. So you're doing yourself a service by actually putting in that effort. Okay, you could read a book for 5 minutes. You could go for a walk. Those are just a few. Read a book, go for a walk, sit down and focus on your breath. And let's say you're not in a place. Let's say you're in your career, your job. You could push your fingers together at the right tension where you feel the small ridges between your fingers. And therefore, it's the same act of meditation. This is training your observation ability. When you're feeling the physical sensation, whether it's focusing on breath, focusing on the pressure of your toes on the ground, or the feeling, the sensation of your ridges while you do this. You're placing your attention elsewhere, and you're not getting trapped into the negative feedback loop of I'm right, they're wrong because of this, screw the, that's like useless. Essentially, it's truly useless to go down that route. So you might as well just catch yourself. And I know it's not easy, but if it was easy, it wouldn't be worthwhile anyways. So now you have a challenge, a game to play. Now I recommend you play that game. A couple of things. First of all, I have an offer. It is limited, meaning, first of all, there's only going to be few people that I can take on. It's a 6-month program, and it's mentorship, it's guidance from me on your journey. And this comes in the pillars of like emotional understanding, confidence, nutrition, aesthetically building your physique, figuring out your purpose, all of those core pillars to your life. It's not for everyone. I'm not doing this for many years, just like a short phase of my life. And do not message me if you're not sincere about investing in yourself. Point is, I'll have a link in description. You could shoot me a DM on Twitter, and from there we could carry on to see if we're the type of personalities that will mesh well together. Second, I'm going to be building out a mini self-educational program, low ticket, like 15 to 40 bucks USD. And I'm thinking about creating it, focusing on how you can generate powerful energy, which creates this attractive vibe. And essentially, it's founded upon raising the quality of your sleep in the core pillars. So it probably is, it's a version of my 6-month offer shrunk down. And therefore, you don't get all the details, but you do get value. I want to make sure that I know not everyone can pay for the 6-month one-on-one mentorship. So therefore, I create an additional offer for people whom are on the lower end of things. And by lower end, I don't mean you're bad or lower. I mean, you're just in a different spot. So you're at the right place at the right time. That's my conclusion. I'm going to make that my conclusion always, because I don't want you to feel anxious or worried or I have to do this. Oh, I need to do. No, you are at the right place at the right time. And I'll read you this off my wall. Wisdom can ultimately be reduced to the simple process of avoiding that which makes you go weak. Nothing else is really required. So through identifying what makes you go weak, that is how you create the peaceful, wealthy, and free mind, which is also a free external reality at the same time. I appreciate you. If anything, just drop me a like on here. Let's get the algorithm rolling so more people can be served through this output. And this also helps me, fulfillment, all of these things. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. You will have a great day.